Good morning and welcome to our new lesson of the Gold program. My name is Aisha Hafiz and I will be your coach for today's lesson. Let's look at the topic together. Yes, girls, our first lesson from Module 3 of the Gold program is violence against women. And this is a very sensitive topic, as you all can see. And we are going to look at it in a very different way. So I want you to really concentrate when we talk about things and write down some important points if you like. Let's move to the first activity that I have planned for you. I want you to think, what is violence? But I want you to think in a different way. I would want you to take a small piece of paper and a pen and write or draw whatever you are comfortable with. Write or draw what comes to your mind when you hear the word violence. Yes, girls, you can write or you can draw. And after you finish that, I want you to fold this piece of paper and keep it on the side. And we will take a look at that together at the end of the lesson, inshallah. Let's move on to our next activity. Yes, girls. So you can see this is story time, and I can't promise you if the stories are very happy and will make you happy, but I can make sure that these stories will give you a lifelong lesson. So let's listen to the first story, and the first story is of Salma. Salma is a young girl who's newly married and everything is fine. She's living a happy life. And suddenly she receives an invitation from her friend of a sports event. She wants to go and join the event. But when she discusses with her husband, he refused. He says, no, you don't have to go. It's nothing important. But it is very important for Salma because she has been an active member of that sports club. So she tries to convince him, but he gets very angry and he starts pushing her and kicking her and he slaps her. And she starts crying. She starts crying for an hour, and then after that, she sees her husband coming back and apologizing to her and telling her that this will never happen again. Then, after a month, there is another activity happening, and she wants to go and join. And the same situation happens. Yes, he beats her again. On this note, let's listen to Mariam's story. Mariam is also a very cute and young, energetic girl who also likes to hang out with her friends and play, and she has been very actively helping her mother in planning a budget for the house. After she gets married, her husband is not very welcoming of her interfering in the financial decisions. This really irritates her, and she is not very happy with that. He blames her for misusing the money. He blames her for not using the money very responsible as a responsible person, and this makes her sad. But she doesn't speak about it. Yes, girls, let's take a pause. Let's pause for a minute and think about both the stories. Both the stories are ending on a sad note, but I want you to close your eyes and think about them because I have planned some questions about them and we will discuss it at the end of the video. I think for now we have some point and we have some explanation of what is violence. We can put it in some words to say that it is a behavior involving physical force intended to hurt someone. Now, this hurt can be of three types: it can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be psychological, and also it can be sexual. We are going to discuss some of these types. Let's take a look at this picture. What comes to your mind when you look at this picture? You see the woman is feeling frightened and you see the man's hand. What comes to your mind? Ask yourself this question. Is it a happy picture or is it a sad picture? How do you feel about it? Yes, this is a picture of physical violence. This involves punching, kicking, shoving, and other acts which can provoke injury and endangering the health of others. It can be women, it can be children, it can be men. So, this is the first type of violence, which is physical violence. Let's look at the second type, sexual violence. This topic, Banat, is very, very critical to explain to you. But I would like to just make a statement here. Any type of forced, intimate, physical contact between an adult and a child comes under sexual violence, where you are not willing to do any intimate act. That comes under sexual violence. I want you to do some research after you watch this video. I want you to study more about it. I want you to be more informed about it because this happens everywhere around us. Yes, girls, we are going to look at the task of the day. I told you two stories, and we all can think that both the stories we can see some of violence happening there. But we don't know what kind of violence Salma is going through, what kind of violence Mariam is going through. This is your task of the day. I want you to remember the stories. Take 5 minutes, sit down, think about the stories, and tell me which one of them is going through psychological violence. Think about it and take the same piece of paper that we had in the first activity. Look at that page. On the same page, I want you to write few words as your comments, or you can either draw Salma or Maryam and write what kind of violence do you think they are facing. In the next video, inshallah, I will be discussing with you another very sensitive topic, and this will be also a continuation of our this topic, which is violence against women. Stay tuned and wait for the next video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you have learned something new from this. And have a good day. I'm going to leave you with a message. And this is a message that we all need to tell each other. Keep smiling. Smile as if the world is a camera and you are posing for it. Take care. Ma salam.